Holly Kovo from Fitting Fitness In. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition specialist, and welcome to Get Healthy with Holly. Today we're going to talk about ways to boost your immune system. Your immune system is a network of special cells, tissues, proteins, and organs that work together to protect your body from potentially damaging foreign invaders and disease. When our immune system functions properly, it detects the threat, like bacteria, parasites, and viruses, and it triggers an immune response to destroy them. Our immune system is made up of two different types of immunity: your innate immunity and your adaptive immunity. The innate immunity is the natural protection that we're born with, and it is our first line of defense to combat any kind of infection. So your body detects that infection and automatically starts to produce extra mucus and to increase your thermostat by giving you a fever to try to burn it off. The adaptive immunity is the protection that we gain throughout our life as we are exposed to diseases or protected against them with vaccinations. The adaptive system spots an enemy, like a virus or a bacteria infection, produces specific weapons or antibodies, and it figures out how many it needs and required to kill that bacteria or kill that invader or virus. So the adaptive system can take about 5 to 10 days to kick in, and in the meantime, your innate immunity kicks in and starts fighting it until the adaptive system can kick in and take over from there. So your immune system is quite handy or healthy. We want to make sure it's as healthy as possible. So I'm going to go over ways that you can improve your immune system. And we're going to start with all these different foods that you can eat to help boost your immunity. Let's start with blueberries. Blueberries contain a type of flavonoid called anthocyanin. And it is an antioxidant that can help boost your immunity, and it's flavonoids that play an essential role in your upper respiratory tract. So blueberries are really good to help your immune system fight off any upper respiratory viruses or bacteria. Dark chocolate, which I have right here, it contains an antioxidant called theobromine, and that helps boost your immune system by protecting your body and cells from free radicals. What are free radicals? Well, free radicals are the molecules that the body produces when it breaks down food or comes into contact with any kind of pollutant. So free radicals can damage your body, can damage your cells, and it can contain it can improve, or it can allow disease to grow in your body. So chocolate is great, dark chocolate is great, and the larger percentage of cocoa, the more antioxidants it has, but it also gets a little bitter. So in this case today, we're going to be using 53%, and that has a little less bitterness and a little more sweetness. So we're going to be using that today in a recipe. I'll show you later. But keep in mind that even though dark chocolate is good for you, it is also high in calories and high in saturated fat. So you want to use it in moderation. Turmeric. Turmeric is a spice that many people cook with, and I cook with it as well. It's also present in some alternative medications or medicines, and consuming turmeric can improve a person's immune response. This is due to the curcumin that's in there, and it also helps against anti-inflammatory diseases, some of them like rheumatoid arthritis. Turmeric also helps with your digestive system to help digest fat. So it's really a great spice or supplement. I do take a supplement of turmeric in the mornings. Oily fish like salmon or tuna is high in omega-3 fatty acids, and the omega-3 fatty acids help reduce the risk of rheumatoid arthritis again. So it's another great thing to eat, and in our house we have salmon at least once a week. Broccoli, broccoli. It's a great source of vitamin C, and it's a nice source of vitamin C without using like a citrus or like the orange where there's a citric acid. It also contains a lot of antioxidants, that help neutralize toxins in your body. Sweet potato, here's our sweet potato, rich in beta carotene, and that it has a type of antioxidant that actually gives the skin and the flesh that orange color. And we're going to be using that today too. Spinach contains a lot of essential nutrients and antioxidants like flavonoids, carotenoids, vitamin C, vitamin E, iron. It's a great vegetable, and we're going to be using that today as well. Ginger, here's a ginger root. So people use ginger in a variety of dishes and desserts, as well as in teas. It has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, which is likely to offer health benefits. They're doing a lot of studies on the ginger and how it affects your immune system. So we'll learn more about that as those studies come out. Garlic, common home remedy for preventing colds and other illnesses. Green tea has a little bit of caffeine in it, but it's really good to strengthen your immune system and has those flavonoids that help reduce risk of cold. And then we have kefir or kefir or kefir. All three pronunciations I found in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, so you can pronounce it any way you want. It's a fermented drink that contains cultures of bacteria that are beneficial for your health. And studies show that regular consumption of kefir can help with fighting bacteria, specifically in your gut, reducing inflammation, and increasing antioxidant activity in your body. Sunflower seeds, we have sunflower seeds here. These are roasted without salt. You can get them with salt as well. These are a great addition to salads or maybe even a breakfast bowl. They're a good source of vitamin E and antioxidants that fight off those free radicals that can damage the cells in your body. Oranges or kiwi fruit, very high in source of vitamin C, and that helps people ward off colds. Orange juice is a big one, but be careful because orange juice usually has a lot of sugar in it, so just go for the fresh squeezed orange juice. And red bell pepper, it's another excellent source of vitamin C. An alternative source is not, here's bell peppers, I got a cut up here and a whole pepper here, but it's a great way to, they're a little sweet, and it's a great way to get your vitamin C without the citric acid of an orange. The best way to cook the red pepper is to stir fry or roast them, and that preserves more of the nutrient content than whether you steam them or boil them. So these are all the different, almonds, wait, we haven't, almonds are also great, and quinoa. We're going to use quinoa because that has protein, and it's a great source. We're going to make a nice bowl. And that quinoa is going to be the base for our bowl today. So I am going to make a recipe using as many of these immune boosting foods as possible. So let's see what we could do. All right, so I am going to make a quinoa, a veggie bowl. And I'm going to use quinoa as our base. I have 2 cups of quinoa here, and so I'm going to put it in my rice cooker off to the side and cook it with 4 cups of water, so it's 1 to 2. This is already rinsed. I suggest that if you don't get it already rinsed, that you rinse it before you use it. And we're going to use some sweet potatoes, some broccoli, and some red pepper. Again, you can use whatever you have at home. I'm just trying to use as many of the immune boosting vegetables as possible. And I'm using chicken, not the salmon today. I'm going to use chicken because I want to be able to spice it with some turmeric and some cumin. So that makes it a little bit spicier. Actually, let's put a bunch of them over here, and I'll do them all at once. So I'm going to do 3 things of chicken so that I can feed the staff, make sure that they're fed. Okay, so that's the turmeric. This is the cumin, ground cumin, and that gives it a little kick, as does the turmeric. And I'm going to rub it in with a little pepper. some salt. This happens to be sea salt. All right, and let's just rub it in. Here we go. And I'm going to roast this in the oven with the vegetables. So I'm just going to put the chicken off on one side. There we go. A little bit, capture all that other stuff on the other side of that chicken. Great. So I have the chicken there. We're going to roast our vegetables too. So I'm going to put some red peppers here, some broccoli. Oh, I hope I have enough room for everything. Maybe I'll push that chicken a little bit closer. And some sweet potatoes. All right, so I am going to spray this with a little olive oil, including the chicken. See, when you spray it, you're not overdoing it. And sometimes you put too much olive oil on. And these veggies can get a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. There we go. So this is going to go in the oven. I'm going to put this quinoa in my rice cooker right now. Off to the side here. And I'll just cover it and put that on. I love my rice cooker. I cook the rice in it. I cook the quinoa. And the oven is ready. Let's put this in. This is going to go in for about 20, maybe 30 minutes. And I'll clean this up and we'll work on our blueberry dessert. Let's make chocolate-covered blueberries for an awesome dessert. And we're going to use our nice dark chocolate. This is half a cup of dark chocolate, and this is a cup of blueberries. Now, these are nice and big blueberries, so you want as big as possible because they work the best. These are already washed and dried. I washed them and I let them sit out on a paper towel for about an hour to dry. I'm going to melt this chocolate in this microwavable dish and 30 seconds at a time and keep mixing it to make sure that it mixes up, melts nicely. Then I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil or avocado oil on here. Not as much as it calls for because I'm just going to spray it just to make it a little smoother. And because I'm using this 53% cocoa, it's going to have a little bit of sweetness, so I don't have to add anything to it. The recipe actually calls for adding some stevia, but I prefer not to use artificial, so I just went a little lower on the percent cocoa. All right, so let's get this going. 30 seconds in the microwave. Do we have a 30-second? Add 30 seconds there. So we're going to let that melt, and I'll keep mixing it up. This avocado oil spray is really wonderful. I love it. It's not aerosol, and I use this instead of olive oil often. It's another fat, saturated fat, but it's a healthy fat. So let's see how this is coming. It probably needs about a minute and a half, 3 30-second ones. And I'm just going to grab a pot holder so I don't burn my fingers. So I made this last night to test it, just to make sure that it was going to be sweet enough. And I actually pulled the bowl out and I burnt myself. I should have known better. I was like, Holly, what is wrong with you? But they were very delicious, and my daughter was over and my husband was there, and they got eaten very quickly. So I'm going to mix this up. Oh, this might be enough even. Here we go. This is melted nicely. Awesome. There we go. So you could see that. Okay, so now I'm just going to spray a little bit of this avocado oil in there. It calls for a half of teaspoon. I'm just going to put it in there, and that just keeps it thins it out. There we go. All right, and now let's add our blueberries. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, but you can put it in the freezer if you want them frozen, and they will last a little longer as well. So let's make sure they're all covered with some chocolate. but not too much chocolate. And remember, this is our sweet dessert, but it's a powerful immune boosting dessert. All right, so now I'm going to put them on this, well, I just covered a cutting board with it. Move this out of the way so you can see. And I'm just going to do, so I'm doing only like 3 or 4 of them at a time, portion control, you know. I think the recipe calls for 7 or 8, but I just think that's a little too big of a cluster, you know. 3 to 4, probably fine. And you get more out of it that way as well, especially since they're big blueberries, you know. So you put this in the fridge for about 20-30 minutes, which is perfect timing because our vegetables and chicken are roasting in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. And again, you could put them in the freezer. And once they're frozen, then you put them in an airtight container, and you can keep them in the fridge or the freezer for as long as you want. However, I don't think they'll last too long because the batch that I made last night didn't last long at all. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Oh, that might have a little more than 4. There we go. And then this extra chocolate, you can just drizzle on there because you don't want to waste the chocolate, right? Not in our house, you don't. All right, here we go. All right, nice. I'm going to put that in the refrigerator for 20-30 minutes and let it harden up. And then we'll move on to sauteing our spinach with a little garlic to go on top of our bowl. Okay, here we go. We're going to saute the spinach, but I'm going to saute a little bit of this garlic first. Not too much, but enough to give it some taste, but not to overpower it. All right, let's get that going there. My wood spoon. I sprayed just a little bit of oil in there. Ooh, that's smelling good. I don't particularly care for garlic, but everybody else does, and it is good for you, so I will incorporate some in there, but I just don't put so much that it overpowers it. I know when you go out to eat, you're going to have a lot of garlic anyway, but all right, let's put all this spinach in here, because you know how spinach just cooks down to nothing. There we go. Make sure we get it all in there. Woo! Turn it down a little bit. All right, this doesn't take long now, does it? Look how fast that's cooking down. Hot surface, it's telling me, yeah? I think it is hot. Once again, I didn't put too much oil on there so that it doesn't get too oily. The spinach is going to release a little water anyway. You put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper in there. Come on back there, spinach leaf. There we go. Turn this down some. There we go. Ooh, too bad we don't have smelly vision. Remember that on Willy Wonka? I don't know, was it on both Willy Wonkas? The old one and the new one? I knew it was on the old one. All right, we're going to bring that down to just low. And look how fast that went. And then our things are going to be ready out of the oven shortly, and we're going to put it all together into our nice, healthy, immune-boosting bowl. So now that we have all the components to our nice, healthy, immune-boosting bowl of food, let's build a bowl. I'm going to start with quinoa. So I have a nice amount of quinoa here, and that's our base, the quinoa. It's a lot of quinoa. And I'm going to put some sweet potatoes in there. Some broccoli, some red peppers, a little bit of spinach, so colorful, you know me in color, and then I'm just going to top it with a little bit of chopped almonds. And there's our bowl. Yum. Oh no, sorry, I forgot the chicken. Uh-oh, that's not our bowl. We're gonna put some chicken on there. So let me slice some chicken. And we'll stick that chicken on top. Little chunks of chicken. There we go. And here we are with our immune boosting bowl based with quinoa, veggies, and some nice chicken. And we have our immune boosting dessert, dark chocolate covered blueberries. You can find these recipes on my website, fittingfitnessin.com. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Get Healthy with Holly.